It's file 7, page 390.
I'm on it.
Okay, so it's chat number 1 that I'm referring you to. You'll see that this is a conversation between you and, well, the chat is between you and Sergeant Nkosi, as you know, and you forward him this message. Could you just read that message into the record, please?
Hi, General. My apologies for the break in protocol and the direct approach, but it is an important matter, and trying to understand which spokesperson is on duty will only serve to delay us. I need to afford you right of response regarding a story which will be published tomorrow. It is based on an urgent court application brought by Vusmusi Matlala and his security company, CAT VIP Protection. My Matlala names you in his document specifically. I guess it was a typo to say Mr. Matlala. That he was questioned on whether or not he knew you. He said he did, and that you gave permission organize that his X-ray machines be stored and used at the SAPS college. Important context is that his company, Medi24 Tshwane District, recently was awarded a SAPS health service tender. Technically, court documents are protected speech, but I reach out to you anyway to see if you want to respond. Feel free to do so via the spokesperson. I can accommodate this up until 9 p.m. tonight. I will also send you relevant excerpts of his court documents.
Okay, before I ask my question on this, the next chat is a screen. You can see it's an attachment, and it's the clearer version of it is at page 446. So can you go to 446 to look at it? Alternatively, you can look at it on the screen if you don't want to lose your page.
For 46, I've got it.
Is this the excerpt of the affidavit deposed to by Mr. Matlala?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
This is the affidavit that was sent to you together with that message. Did you look at it?
Yes, I see it.
Yes, so, okay. You forwarded both the message and this attachment to Sergeant Nkosi. I take it this was from a journalist, is that so?
Yes.
Do you recall the journalist who sent this to you?
I don't know, I don't recall the journalist, but I do admit and accept that I did get this.
Did you respond to this journalist who asked you this question? There's a deadline of 9 p.m.
Under normal circumstances, I respond, because what I've learned about journalists, if you don't respond, then they'll put it as is, and it's your problem that you didn't respond. So I do respond, so that at least my version is heard.
So did you respond to this?
I did, I guess. I take it that I responded.
You say you take it that you're saying you think you would have responded. Is that what you say?
I think so, because, Chair, I think, I don't know how many times I've said it, I'm operating from my memory. I don't have my device.
You say your practice is always to respond
Is to respond.
And on that basis, you say you must have responded.
I must have responded. If I don't respond, it will be one or two incidences where I think this one is too personal and maybe working with the people that are trying to destroy me, then I just leave it sometimes.
Okay, so the content of this message to you is about Mr. Matlala naming you in these court documents.
Yes.
Why did you forward it to Sergeant Nkosi?
I might have to say, look what this man is saying, and it's not true.
Did you have any conversation with Sergeant Nkosi about it?
No.
About this?
No.
No, okay.
I don't remember having any conversation with him about it.
Okay. So I just want to take you to what happens at the same time. This was on the 22nd of December. If you go to page...
Sorry, Chair. I want to ask a question, Chair. I'm in this screen now. I want to also the public to know what is my response to this question, because now I'm just get shown this message, then I leave this message and they take to another conversation. But that what is being said by Mr. Matlala in that message about me, why can't I be given a chance now to say, okay, what was your response on this message? I'm not running ahead, but I'm also saying the line of questioning must also afford me an opportunity to clarify things that the public also need to know. But at the ultimate end, this is not true, because I never gave Mr. Matlala any permission to put X-rays or whatever. I never gave him such permission. It never happened. I took what Mr. Matlala came to the National Commissioner. The National Commissioner rejected it. I gave feedback. So which means that what the journalist was inquiring about was squarely false. So
Right.
Then we can get to the next level.
Right. Can you now just please turn to page 139?
Same file.
Same file. Okay, so you'll see on this page, chat 1, 2, and 3. This is the chat between Mr. Matlala and Sergeant Nkosi. Okay. The first chat, it's also on the 22nd of December, and it says there's a news article regarding a certain general in SAPS whom they're trying to associate with me in our court application. I said I was told to ask him to grant us permission to utilize the hospital inside the Pretoria West SAPS College from a certain brigadier. The reason they referred me to him is because at the time he was acting as a national commissioner. Is there a way we can rectify the statement, because now it looks like I'm very close. Somehow that will compromise his reputation. And now they're publishing the story tomorrow on News 24. So this is a message, there's 3 messages here that go together. This is the first one that is forwarded to Sergeant Nkosi, and it appears to be a message that he had sent to his lawyers to correct the affidavit. And you'll see that in chat number 3.
Yes.
Yes, you'll see that in chat number 3, where he forwards the screenshot of his conversation with his lawyer. And that screenshot, if you want to see it more clearly, is on page 447.
.47. I'm on it.
Okay, and it's a conversation between Mr. Matlala and his lawyer. His lawyer says, okay, how do you want to rectify the statement? And then he explains how he would like it to be rectified. And he says, and I'll, for your benefit, read it out, that the brigadier who is in charge of recruitment from SAPS suggested that I ask permission from the National Commissioner to utilize the hospital which is inside SAPS Training College to conduct medicals for new recruits. And by that time, General Sibiya was acting as the National Commissioner. So that's how I knew of him that day, because his name was mentioned to me once, not that he gave me permission to use the hospital. And then his lawyer says, okay, I follow, I understand. Okay, so he's explaining how he would like his statement, his affidavit that he had filed, to be revised. And then, finally, if we go back to page 196, oh, sorry, not 196.
We were from
139, thank you.
Yes.
139.
Yes. If you go back to 139, you'll see the message from Mr. Matlala to Sergeant Nkosi saying, please forward this to him. I asked my lawyers to rectify that mistake. Do you see that's chat number 2?
I do.
Right? So he says, please forward this to him. I asked my lawyers to rectify that mistake. Again, we're still on 22 December 2024. Now, if you go to page 196, okay?
Chair, just to ask a simple question. I understand, I'll respond. It's just I'm looking at us going from, go to page so you read this chart, then go to that page, read this chart. Is it not possible to go, as we go into this question where you say, this is the one that this says, please send it to him, what is your comment? To that one, please
No,
comment. I'm just asking.
No, please let me do the questions.
Right.
Don't tell me how to ask questions.
No,
I'm going to give you an opportunity.
I'm not telling how to answer the questions. I'm just, my concern is just, I see myself now moving from read this chart from 132, go to 447, go to 139, go to 446. So that's why I'm just asking that now. I find myself paging, but I understand as well. This is the line
So
of
what I'm
question.
doing by going through these is to put the full picture to you so you can see. I don't take you by surprise. I'm going to put the full picture to you so you've got the full set of chats. And then I can put my question to you after that. So you will have an opportunity to respond to all of this. I'm not going to leave it behind. It's page 196.
And my apologies, Council, that you, it shouldn't be like I want to tell you how to ask questions. It's just that even myself, I sometimes feel a little bit.
No, that's fine, General. That's why I'm explaining to you why I'm doing it this way. I'm not leaving. It's one topic, but I want you to see the full
I'm at
picture.
196 now.
196. So this now is between Sergeant Nkosi and you, this conversation. So what we had seen on 139 was Mr. Matlala saying, please forward these to him. I asked my lawyer to fix it. And now what happens here, we see in 196 that indeed Sergeant Nkosi forwards you those messages from Mr. Matlala immediately on the same day, 22nd December. So you'll see the set of chats from number 1 to number 4. It's all messages. The first is, there's a news article, please forward this to him. I asked my lawyers. Then the screenshot with the lawyers, please show him. Meaning, please show you this. Okay. So my question is, why? Well, let me first say this. Let me take a step back, because you wanted to respond, and I think you have, but let me give you the opportunity again. Did you assist Mr. Matlala in obtaining access to the training college or to the use of the training college in a particular way at this point in time in 2024 or in January 2024?
No. And I'm far from that process as well. So I could not, even if I wanted to, from where I am operating, I can't even put my finger there. It's far from me.
Okay. And you say that's what you would have told the journalist in any event at the time?
Yes.
But then you forward this to Sergeant Nkosi. He then forwards it on to he then has this conversation with Mr. Matlala, this exchange. And then Mr. Matlala sends these messages indicating that he's recanted his affidavit and he wants Sergeant Nkosi to show it to you. Comment on this if you can. Why was Mr. Matlala concerned that you need to see that he rectify it? Why was he concerned not to upset you? Because that's what it seems like.
Because he knew that was not true, and he could also know that this thing is they're actually trying to destroy me. Those that went to the journalist and gave the journalist some information, they were trying to destroy me. So you could see that they are using him to try to destroy him. That is why, or to destroy me or him. That is why he would say, look, this is what happened. So that is why, the reason why.
Why do you say that somebody went to the journalists with this to try to destroy you, with the story that's not true?
Because journalists don't wake up one day with a story and just send to a person for inquiries unless they were approached by someone.
Well, no, well, you do get investigative journalists who are following a story, and what it seems like here is this journalist had access to this affidavit, and in the affidavit, Mr. Matlala did say that you had facilitated his access to the training college. So Mr. Matlala did in fact say that. The journalist wasn't given information by some third party.
Now, the nicest thing about the whole thing is the fact that it never happened. He was never given any accommodation or permission, even anything. He came to see me as an acting national commissioner. And then what he said to me...
General, I think it was yesterday when I asked you to please respond to questions directly, and that if you do so will make a lot of progress. What you are saying now does not answer the question. Please repeat your question, Ms. Hassan.
Thank you, Chair. So my question to you is, you said that there were third parties who were trying to smear you, and a journalist would not have raised this otherwise. What I put to you is that what this shows is that the journalist had access to Mr. Matlala's affidavit, in which Mr. Matlala said that you facilitated access. And I'm not commenting on the correctness or not of it at this point in time. I'm just saying he did say that, that you did give him access. So on that basis, do you accept that it couldn't, why do you still persist? Do you still persist that it was a third party that approached the journalist rather than the journalist coming upon it herself?
No, I am reminded, I take it that it came from the court papers.
From the court papers?
Yes.
Okay. All right, and then my question was about Mr. Matlala seeming to be concerned, not to upset you. I think you've answered, but do you mind just repeating your answer to that question?
Well, at this point in time, I can't say why in his mind he felt that he didn't want to upset me, but he knew the truth, that in actual fact he never got assistance from me because he never had access, even for one day at the college or anything in writing to assist him to get access there. So it's a transaction that, or it's something that never happened at all. That never.
I think your answer was you wanted to set the record straight by telling the truth. I think that summarizing, I think that was the essence of your answer.
Thanks for the assistance, Chair.
Thank you.
And he wanted to show you that he's setting the record straight.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay.
Can
Thanks.
you just do this? Because several times now you've mentioned that the meeting happened when you were an acting national commissioner. Can you just give us the exact dates when you were the acting national commissioner of police? I'm assuming there would be a letter appointing you to say from this date to this date, you are appointed in General Masamola's absence as the acting national commissioner of police. Do you have it, or do you have the exact dates?
I think the people who can assist us to give us that letter, either the commission's investigators or us writing to the. I'm saying it's because I don't have anything.
But you don't remember the date?
Within that date, he came to see me. I know I was the acting national commissioner at that time. I don't have anything that I can show because I don't have it. But I was at that time the acting national.
Yeah. The reason why I'm asking is, remember, we've moved. Sergeant Nkosi said it was December 2023. You at some point said it was in January, and then you changed to say it was in February. That's why that date becomes important for me, because I need to know when exactly you were the acting National Commissioner of Police. But I'm sure we can find it, so let's not, if you don't know, let's not delay.
Perhaps, I mean, we can find that out, of course. But do you remember for how long you acted as National Commissioner at that point in time? Was it a few weeks or a few months?
No, normally it will be either a week or either 3 days. It's only when the National Commissioner is away or not around. So sometimes it will happen that it's on leave, maybe for 14 days or for 10 days. It does happen. So I don't have a clear record of for how many days, but it was few days.
A few days, a week?
It could be 3, 4 days. It could be 2 days, somewhere there. I'm not sure.
Well, we'll find out. Okay, thanks. I'm going to move off this to another topic, Commissioners.
Let me ask my question. General, when you forwarded this question from the journalist to Sergeant Nkosi, what was the reason for that?
As I indicated to her that I just say, look at what this man is saying about me in court, and you know it's not true. Saying to Nkosi, you know it's not true.
Yes.
And it was purely based on the fact that he knows him, he knows him very well. I knew they were close.
Okay. And you didn't send it to him with the expectation. You say you knew that they were close. You didn't send it to him with an expectation that he would raise the matter with Mr. Matlala.
I knew that he would. In situations like those, you also avoid to confront the person because it looked like now I'm confronting the person. So I just sent it to you and said, but this never happened.
But you knew that he would. You say you knew that Sergeant Nkosi would raise it with Mr. Matlala.
Yes, and to me it wasn't really, I knew he would at the ultimate end.
Okay. And so when Mr. Matlala, in page 196 that you looked at now, there is that message which seems to be a correction of Mr. Matlala's way of correcting what he says in the affidavit. And then the next message, I'm looking at page 196, Mr. Matlala says to Sergeant Nkosi, please forward this to him. I asked my lawyers to rectify that mistake. So now Mr. Matlala is directing Sergeant Nkosi to engage with you about this. You see that?
Yes,
The text says he must show this to you.
Yes, Commissioner.
Okay. And you can comment if you want to, but I pick this up in the context of yesterday's discussion where we had a conversation about Mr. Nkosi, or Sergeant Nkosi rather, appears to have been the go-between between you and Mr. Matlala. In this case, you decided, you explain, you say, I didn't want to confront him. I didn't want to raise it with him because I don't want it to look like I'm confronting him. I think that's what you said earlier on. You say you expected that he would, because they know each other. Sergeant Nkosi would raise this with Mr. Matlala. Indeed, he does raise it with him. And that's why Mr. Matlala responds and says, please forward this to him. I asked my lawyers to rectify this mistake. So obviously they have discussed this. It does lend itself to, in fact, Sergeant Nkosi, when he says it was agreed that you would be the go-between, we see this consistent conduct where he's dealing with Mr. Matlala on matters that concern you, and he reports to you. He conveys things between the two of you. It seems that his evidence that there was that agreement may well be the truth in this case.
All I can vehemently deny to this commission is that there was never a meeting, nor an instance where we sat down and we agreed that Mr. Nkosi will be our go-in-between. Yes, I do accept that I actually was talking to him. And in most instances, I didn't even know that some of the things that I'm talking to him, he would automatically just send to him. Some of the things was just meant for me and him, maybe, because of our usual communication. But what I just want to stress, Chair, is that there was never an instance where we sat down and agreed that he will be a go-in-between, even though the circumstances and the whole picture being painted may seem like that, but a meeting never happened.
Okay.
It is not being painted, General, it's emerging. There's a big difference. A picture that is emerging, not a picture that is being painted. Do you follow me?
I follow what the Chair is saying. Chair is experienced and has dealt with this since for a very long time. So my putting of words may not be adequate enough or explain exactly how it emerged. So I respect that, Chair.
Thank you.
No, that's fine, Chair. Let me maybe then put it differently, General. You say there was never a meeting where so you differ with Sergeant Nkosi on his account of what he says happened. But can I then put this to you for your comment that there may not have been a meeting on your account. You say there was never such a meeting, but it's what appears is at least there was that kind of conduct. So it may have happened because of how people were behaving amongst yourselves. You were behaving that way without having an agreement about it. But in the end, what seems to have happened is Sergeant Nkosi became the go-between, maybe by default, because you happen to talk to him about matters of concern. He's close to Mr. Matlala, and he also has conversations with Mr. Matlala, and then he feeds back to you. That's the picture that emerges. And I'm not insisting that you sat down and had a meeting. I'm speaking more to in practice, it seems that's what happened in fact.
What Commissioner is saying is 100% correct. What I just want to put on the table, Chair, is that, yes, this was the case maybe with Nkosi in terms of how we were talking and how it was happening. But what I want to put just on the table, whether it's accepted or rejected, is that let's take Sergeant Nkosi and put him in the center. Let's draw the same communication to General Mkwanazi, to General Sintumule, the attendance of the events, the biking together, the communication, the same approach. If we look at it, I'm just trying to say, I'm going to be left in a picture where, yeah, there was this agreement, there was this meeting, and there was this thing, but it was just a norm, a normal practice where he was a socialite and talking to many senior officials. I was just putting that on the table, Chair. That's all.
All right. Thank you, General. I mean, I put it to you because that's what Sergeant Nkosi says. I think I want you to understand that the discussion with you right now is about what Sergeant Nkosi has said about you and Mr. Matlala. So to the extent that you don't hear me in my engagement with you now mentioning anybody else, it's because we're not discussing those other people. We're discussing what Nkosi said. And these exchanges that seem to confirm that in fact he did become the go-between. You say no meeting like that, but at least you accept that by conduct, maybe because of his close relationship to both of you, by conduct he became the go-between effectively. That's all I was checking with you.
So,
thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Ms. Asu.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll come back to the issue of the relationship and the important sort of role that Sergeant Nkosi appears to play. And perhaps we can look at it in relation to the next topic that I want to take you to, and that is at page, in the same file, page 232. Chair, I notice it's 11 o'clock. I'm not sure if you want to take the adjournment now or later.
Let's continue until 1:15.
Are you at page 232?
Yes.
Okay, again, we're back now to a conversation between you and Sergeant Nkosi. And chat number 4 is what I want you to have a look at. And that's on the 22nd of March, 2025, where you sent Sergeant Nkosi a copy of a, you forward to him this message from a journalist. Could you just read that message into the record, please?
So I should kindly read this message?
Yes, please.
Of chat 4.
Yes.
Good morning, Nonkululeko. My name is Abraham Mashego. I'm a journalist working for the City Press newspaper. I'm currently working on a story based on the audit findings that recommended that Police Commissioner Fanima Somola should terminate the contract with a company owned by a businessman, Usumusi Matlala. The recommendation was made in January and it further recommends criminal charges to be laid. I'd like to know from you what has happened since the recommendations at the City Press is aware that Matlala continued to receive payment from subs. My deadline is by 15:30 today.
Was this message sent to you by the journalist, or was this forwarded to you by, I think it might have been, and you might want to look at the following messages, by Major General Pukane? Do you remember? If not, we can just go through the next few messages.
It might have been sent by Nonkululeko Pokani because it's a subs she's in charge of communication at subs. Maybe, I don't know for my response or whether there's anywhere where I fit in, I'm not so sure, but I could really maybe, if I was having my own gadget, say some things with absolute certainty. At this present moment, I'm weak in coming out strong on some of the things.
Okay, no, that's fine. But if you have a look at number 5, I think this is a forwarded message again, number 5, and then number 1 on the next page. So number 5 says, good morning, General, Lieutenant Generals. Kindly find above media inquiry received from Abraham Masheko at 10:21 this morning. I will engage the relevant division and share the response shortly. Regards. And then the next message on the next page is, good morning, Mr. Abraham Masheko. This is an internal matter regarding SAPS and suppliers. We reserve our comments for now. Regards, Major General Nonkululeko Pokane. So these are a set of messages that are forwarded to you, it seems. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Do you know anything about the audit findings against the audit into the contract that was awarded to Mr. Matlala?
No, I have never seen even the report at this stage until now.
Okay, well, if you go a little further down on page 233, you sent to Sergeant Nkosi at chat number 2. The last page of the preliminary audit report recommending the termination of Mr. Matlala's contract. Now, let me just tell you where you'll find a clear copy of that. It's at page 300 in the same file. You can take a couple of minutes to look at it. You'll see that it's the last page of the preliminary audit report. You see the heading at the top right of the page.
Yeah, preliminary audit report bit 19 of 1/9/1/94 TP.
That's
Yes.
right. That's right. And then it's the page with the recommendations, recommending that the expenditure be declared possible irregular expenditure for further assessment, that the bid should be terminated, that evidence of procurement irregularities were observed in the bid, etc. You see that? So you forwarded this to Sergeant Nkosi, but why do you share with Sergeant Nkosi this confidential preliminary audit report?
I don't think it was a confidential preliminary report because this thing, I think it was on the media. That's why you see Abraham Mashiko, I think, because it's not something that was given to me or that I had. It's not a confidential report. It has been in the newspaper. Even now, you will see where there is IGI and maybe certain faces, Kumalo, General Kumalo, Masemola. So it's something that is on the newspaper. So when you share with a colleague that you work with closely, because I did send it to him. If I did, yes, and I don't say I didn't. But it's because of the fact that this is something that we've always known that is happening or is going to happen at some point.
You've always known. Since when did you become aware that this was happening?
Remember, we come back to from the charts where we were reading the thing that come from court where they say, I assisted Mr. Matlala to have access to the coalition and all that. So
No, but that was different. That had nothing to do at all with the contract or any audit or any investigation into the contract. That affidavit was what Mr. Matlala filed in December in an urgent application where he was seeking the return of what he alleged were stolen items when his office was raided. That's what that affidavit was about.
this one.
No, yes, the one that you just referred to. You said we already knew, you said you referred to the affidavit we looked at earlier about the training college. I'm saying that isn't correct because that was about a different issue. It wasn't about the contract.
You see, in today's world, where we all know that you do know so-and-so, you do know this kind of a person or this person, and you come across something like this from the media or from the newspaper or from wherever it was from, and then maybe I shared it with Nkosi. It wasn't really a confidential document. It is, I don't see it somewhere marked confidential or secret or top secret. So,
General, the watermark.
There's a watermark.
The watermark says it's confidential. So why do you
The
say
whole
you don't
across
see
the
it
page.
anyway?
my apology. Normally, because when we do it on top and below, so this one slipped my mind.
But do you accept that this one says it's a confidential
It was a
document?
confidential document, but
And it's not an excuse. You see, if somebody has leaked a confidential subs document to a journalist, and you come into possession of that document, it's not an answer to say, somebody leaked it before, so I can also leak it. That's not how it works. If it's confidential, it's confidential. So you don't perpetuate the leak.
Here, once it's in the public domain, it's no longer confidential. I understand if it comes from everybody who's in this room who signed the confidentiality, and then this document leaked from inside here, and then one of us leaked it to outside. It's a leak. But once now it is something that is either in the newspaper or is going to be in the newspaper, then I think that is.
No. Okay, finish, sorry.
I see this document, and unfortunately for me, is that because of the fact that I'm operating where I could say, but when I look at my phone, I can't find it, or I don't think it comes from me, but I am accepting it because I've been accepting all the communications that did come from me. And I'm saying, to me, Sergeant Nkosi is a colleague. He's still in the police. And a confidential is not like a top secret document that cannot be shared by any other person. Confidential within the police, it can still be shared within the police. If I gave it to Nkosi, maybe I send it to Nkosi, it's possible that I might have sent it to him, and if I did, in my mind, I might have really not taken into consideration the fact that, but this is a confidential document, and even if it comes from a journalist, still I cannot send it to any other person. It's just like when there is a social media saying wrong things about the person, then you forward it also to another person and say, but why did you continue forwarding it? So I'm just saying that.
I'm sorry, Mr. Hassan. under normal circumstances, General, that would be a cogent explanation. But you have said a few questions back, I think you were being engaged by my co-commissioner, Commissioner Baloyi. You said that when you shared some communications with Sergeant Nkosi, you understood that because of their proximity, he would probably share those with Mr. Matlala. Do you remember saying that?
I do, Chair.
Yes. So now you are saying that you were sharing this with Sergeant Nkosi, subs member to subs member. You confirm that?
I do, Chair.
Yes. Now, bearing in mind your previous response to Commissioner Baloyi, surely then you must have expected that Sergeant Nkosi would probably share even these communications with Mr. Matlala, correct?
That's correct, Chair.
Yes. So it cuts across this idea that this was a subs member sharing with a subs member, as if it would then be contained within the two subs members. Do you accept that?
I do, Chair.
Thank you.
General, before the adjournment, I was asking about whether you're aware of any prescripts that govern the SAPS and sharing of information, confidential information.
Yes, Chair, I am aware. Chair.
Were you aware at the time when you did share this information?
I was aware, Chair, but to as far as I'm concerned, I was aware that a confidential document that is already out in the public space is not really, it doesn't carry the same weight as if it is not in the public space. Because once the cat is out of the sack, it doesn't carry the same weight. It's no longer really as confidential as it is.
Is that according to your prescripts?
It is the way it is.
And would you agree that if a story is in the public domain, so, you know, a journalist writing about that there's an audit, that this journalist is aware that an audit has been conducted and that recommendations have been made, but there's a delay in acting on the recommendations, but doesn't actually circulate the journalist, or the article doesn't actually contain the audit report itself, right? If it doesn't do that, in those circumstances, is it appropriate? Is it still in the public domain? And can you still circulate it?
Once it is with the journalist, it's already in the public domain.
Once the report is with the journalist.
Yeah, and especially when the journalist is using it and to make inquiries, the confidentiality thereof is already broken.
But if the journalist hasn't circulated it in the public domain, so journalists often come across confidential documents that they report on, but they don't share the actual documents. So if the actual document is not shared, you're saying it doesn't matter, the fact that it's known.
From the user, who was supposed to keep it secret, the user, the only person who marked it, and then he used it to the National Commissioner or to me or to any other person who is part of the discussion or to whose attention it must go. That person, those people remain confidential. It remains a confidential document. But the moment it's let out now to a journalist, and the journalist who's beginning to make inquiries about it, already the confidentiality is broken. So now, as far as I'm concerned, there was nothing wrong on my part to share with a colleague of the same organization on a document whose confidentiality has already been broken.
Ordinarily, that would make sense somewhat. But in this instance, it cannot. In this instance, rather, it cannot, because you've already accepted when I engaged you earlier that here you actually foresaw that probably Sergeant Kosi would share this document with Mr. Matlala. You accept that?
Chair, please make me understand the question.
When I engaged you,
hear the
yes.
question, I'm just trying to
Yes.
understand properly, Chair.
When I engaged you earlier, do you remember asking that? You did realize that in all probability, Sergeant Nkosi would share this document with Mr. Matlala because of their proximity. Do you remember saying so when I engaged you?
Yes, Chair.
Yes. So now I'm saying your response to Ms. Hassim cannot make sense because you cannot say this was sharing between two police officers. I say this wouldn't make sense here because you actually foresaw the probability, not even just possibility, the probability of Sergeant Kosi sharing this document with Mr. Matlala. You've already admitted it, so
No, if the chair say I foresaw that he will share it with Mr. Matlala,
yes.
it's something else. But
Okay, maybe let me take out foresee and use words that are as close as possible to what I said when I engaged you before the tea break. I said probably Sergeant Kosi, on your understanding of the proximity between Sergeant Kosi and Mr. Matlala, Sergeant Kosi would probably share this document with Mr. Matlala. You accepted that before the tea break, correct? Be careful not to change what you said earlier.
no.
You
Chair.
accepted that probability.
No, Chair. Remember, Chair, even if I said that initially, it doesn't mean that in everything that follows that I shall have shared with Nkosi, it means that everything was meant to be shared with
Please
Mr.
don't try to anticipate where I'm going. Please don't try to anticipate. Do you accept that before the tea break, you accepted the probability that Sergeant Nkosi would share the document with Mr. Matlala? Do you accept that?
Yes, Chair.
Yes. So now what I'm saying is you cannot now, in response to Ms. Hassim, say this was sharing subs officer to subs officer because you've already accepted that there was a probability that the document would be shared with Mr. Matlala. So you cannot just stop at sharing subs officer to subs officer because there is the probability that you accept. Is that correct?
It's correct, Chair.
It must be. Yes, Ms. Hassim.
Thank you, Chair.
Advocate Hassim,
I mean,
can
what
add-
makes it
sorry,
problematic?
Advocate Hassim, can I add one thing to what Chair has said? The other thing about this document is that it concerned Mr. Matlala himself. It concerned Mr. Matlala's company. So it's different from any other documents. This one, the expectation would be that because it is dealing with Mr. Matlala's company, Captain Nkosi would share it with him. You must have expected that.
Can I ask, Chair? You know, Chair, if we are close, maybe in this case, Chair, I want to say if I'm close with maybe the three commissioners, and one of you, of the commissioners, is very close to a particular person, and then we know that here is something that we're reading on the news about this person, And then I say, hey, see what is coming or what is happening on this person, because it's from the newspaper. This is what is going to be on Sunday newspaper, City Press and whatever. It has become a norm or normal for people to share something they see about a specific person. Many people see a lot of things about me. Sometimes they share it with my wife, sometimes they will share among themselves, but others know that it will reach me. So I must just accept, Chair, that it happened. It may be reckless or negligent or an oversight, but it happened that way. And I don't know now this time, I must say, as far as I'm concerned, it is just that the risk is not as I was sharing it myself in a meeting, from a meeting that I was sitting in to Mr. Matlala. It was a question of now, it comes from the journalist, it's already in the public, the cat is already out now. Sharing it with a colleague really wouldn't carry the same risk as the original risk.
Can I say
Is the
first
answer
of all,
yes? I think before we leave this, the answer must be yes. You had no reason to believe that he won't share it with Mr. Matlala.
Yes.
Yes.
But
Sorry.
you see, General, here's my difficulty with your insistence about sharing between police officers. I would understand your point if you had shared with Sergeant Zulu of Matatiele, whom you knew not to have any connection whatsoever with Mr. Matlala. I would understand your point. But here, you knew that you were sharing with Sergeant Gosi, who has a certain proximity with Mr. Matlala, and you have accepted that there was, to your knowledge, a probability that Sergeant Gosi would share with Mr. Matlala. That's the difficulty I have with your insistence about sharing between subs member and subs member. You may comment if you wish to. I made the point earlier and you accepted it. I was just making a follow-up to, again, your response to my colleague, Commissioner Khumalo.
Since the Chair said I may comment if I so wish to, can I take this opportunity to comment?
Yes.
Chair, just to say that if I shared it with a Sergeant Zulu from somewhere that I don't know, it should be concerning. Why did you share it with Zulu? Because you're not. Why? What would be the reason with Zulu? Why Zulu? But now with
that actually buttresses my point. Then that doesn't assist you.
I'm trying to come somewhere, Chair.
All right.
But with Nkosi, I do know that he knows Mr. Matlala.
Yes.
And that is maybe probably why I sent it to him. But if at the ultimate Chair, the Chair is going to rule, and then and even when the Chair, the assess evidence is in the Chair's hands. So it doesn't really matter. What mine is just to accept that the Chair's pointings, I must also regard it as guidance.
Yeah, let's leave it at your acceptance more than once. Your acceptance that there was, to your knowledge, a probability that Sergeant Kosi would share with Mr. Matlala. Yes, Ms. Asim.
Sir, can I just ask my question? General, if it was in the public domain, as you say, why would you need to share it with Sergeant Kosi? He has access to the same public space as you.
It's because, Chair, Commissioner, it's because at that point in time, I think, because it was at a point where it was still between whoever sent it to the journalist and myself. And then I think this is what could have happened because it was not yet in the Sunday newspaper.
No, but you couldn't have thought that, General, because you got the question from the journalist, you forwarded it to generals, and there was a response to it. Responding to the journalist, Mr. Mashego, from your Ms. Nonkululeko Pokane, And all of that you forwarded to Sergeant Nkosi. So you knew the SAPS communication was dealing with it. So your answer can't be that because it was still between whoever and the journalist. You knew that the SAPS is officially dealing with it. And so that cannot be a reason. You couldn't have shared it for the sake of sharing it. You have to be sharing it for another reason because you knew that the SAPS is dealing with it.
Commissioner, I thought I responded when I said because it was with a journalist already, even though I knew SAPS was dealing with it, SAPS was responding. And the fact that it was with a journalist and SAPS responded to it, it's already in a public space. If it was not the same topic, a different topic within a report, from my angle I would understand. But now we are talking about one and the same thing that was sent to a journalist, the journalist from the journalist to the SAPS communications. Now SAPS communications have communicated. Now I know that this thing is already public because it's gonna come. Normally when they run the story, they don't wait for Sunday, they also run it online. So
Yes.
that is what I'm saying.
No, but exactly my point. It is already in the public domain. Sergeant Nkosi has access to the same public domain. Why do you need to send it to him? Unless you thought this is still internal, which is the problem that is being discussed with you, that you thought it is internal, he's not aware of it, and so you share with him to alert him to something that is still internal. That's the one possibility. But going with your version, which is, well, it was in the public domain, so I was free to share it. I did nothing wrong because it was already out there. It necessarily raises the question, well, if it's in the public domain, as you say, why are you sharing it with Sergeant Nkosi? Because he has access to the same public domain. Remember, your story is, it was in the public domain. This report that is marked confidential, you say it was already in the public domain. So you either correct it was in the public domain, and I'm going to ask you, why do you say it was in the public domain? So you're either correct it was in the public domain, in which case you have to have had a good reason why you're sharing it with Sergeant Nkosi, because it is in the public domain, this confidential document. Or it wasn't in the public domain, that's why you share it with Sergeant Nkosi. And you share it with the expectation he will share with Mr. Matlala. In fact, I want to place it higher than that you share it with the anticipation that he will share it with Mr. Matlala. But let me go back and break it up. Why do you share it with Sergeant Nkosi if it is in the public domain already?
I think, Chair, to be fair, people circulate messages, TikTok messages that are in the public domain, but they share them anyway among one
General,
another.
I'm not talking about people and I'm not talking about messages in general. I think you have to answer directly the question because otherwise we end up losing a lot of time.
Okay.
My question is a direct question. You send a document marked confidential. It's an SAPS document. You say, but it was in the public domain. And I engage you on that basis to say, well, if it's in the public domain, why did you send it to Sergeant Nkosi, who has access to the same public space?
The point I'm also trying to raise, Commissioner, is that when there is a message that has been circulating, that is out in the public domain, people share them anyway.
General, you're avoiding to answer my question. Let me ask you my next question. why do you say this was in the public domain? Where do we see that it was in the public domain?
If, as far as I'm concerned, if I'm not the author of this document, and none of us knew about this document, but this document found itself where the confidentiality has been broken, sent to a particular journalist.
Why do you say that? Why do you say this document was sent to a journalist? We have the question that was sent to you, and maybe let me try and move it forward. The question doesn't include an attachment of this document.
Yes.
So you do have the question from Mr. Mashiko. It doesn't have an attachment to it.
Commissioner, can I just add to that before
Sorry,
you close your question?
Sorry, Chair.
So I just want to draw something to your
No,
attention.
I want to raise a point as well that I want to raise. You know, Chair, Commissioner Baloyi asked me a question. And whilst I'm responding to the question, just to proceed, then jumps in and then say, no, General, then takes it further and continue on this one. Now I'm trying to also respond, then just as I'm listening to this one, then she comes in and says, just on the same point. All I'm asking is, let me not be overwhelmed by the fact that now respond to this, and then all the communications. Commissioner Matlala, I'm trying to be fair to you as well, as you are the person who's here to ask me a question on probe. I must respond, but I'm just asking one favor. That when you ask me a question, allow me to respond and finish as well.
Yes. General, I gave you a chance to answer my question. I asked you the same question twice, thrice, and you're telling me about how people communicate and distribute things, even after I said to you, don't tell me about how other people communicate. Don't tell me about other things that get distributed. Tell me about this which we are discussing. You were repeating, we don't have the whole day. I have only limited time to ask you questions. I accept your answer. If you don't want to answer a question and you prefer to go the long way, I don't think you have a license to be indulged to speak as long as you want and to answer irrelevant things. I didn't ask you about what people do. I asked you about your explanation for distributing this to Sejin, because it's a direct question. And if you repeat it the third time, I'm sorry, I'm not going to allow you to keep on doing that. And you can keep complaining about me. I will ask you my questions. I'm going to repeat my question before we get to Ms. Hassan. General, I'm going to ask you my question again. And I will interrupt you if you don't give me a direct answer. My question to you is, this document that you say you circulated, you gave to Sergeant Nkosi because it was in the public domain. My question to you is, if it is in the public domain to which Sergeant Nkosi has access to, why do you send him this document? That's my question. That's my first question to you. So maybe try and answer, and we'll come back to Ms. Hassan on my second question.
My question is this, Chair. If the document is already out there in the wild, I take it that the cat is already out of the
Like the impalas.
of the cell. You see, I don't want to say. I don't want to say she's being arrogant, but she's
just making a joke
no,
with
you
you, that's
started
what
it. But Chair, we need to really respect each other and try to be modest with one another in a platform like this and be professional. So if she goes that way, I'm going to take the different route as well, and it's not what we want. So please give me the same respect as well, and let's do it professionally. Now, my answer is, sharing it internally with colleagues wouldn't really be carry the same risk as it was initially. So I have shared it with General Nkosi. If the chair rules that I wasn't supposed to, I will accept that as well, Chair, without me having to go deeper into the subject. If I was not supposed to have, as far as I'm concerned, it was out in the public space, and sharing it with a colleague wouldn't carry the same weight as if it never was.
Okay, let me ask my second question then. Why do you say this document was in the public domain?
Like I indicated earlier, that the moment from the writer to the journalist and to the communicators already, and then back to the journalist, already the cat is out of the sack.
Okay. We have the question from the journalist here. It doesn't include an attachment, so we know that this document was not, at least from this message, the document was not attached to the question addressed to you. Why do you say it was in the public domain if it wasn't attached to the question?
Personally, this document, this one, I never got it myself because I still don't have a report even now. So this document, the questions of the journalist, I think relates to this, if I'm sure, but I'm not so sure because I don't have anything that I can refer to myself. I'm just following the line of questioning with what I see. So I say these questions were already in the public space because there are those that I can show the report.
Okay, let me stop you. Maybe you have answered me. You are saying these questions were in the public domain. You're not saying the document was in the public domain. Because that's what you've just said now. You've just said these questions were in, I never got the document myself. That's what you say. You say, I never got the document myself. These questions were in the public domain. So I want to clarify so that I'm not unfair to you. You are saying these questions, when you say it was in the public domain, you mean these questions were already in the public domain. Is that what you mean?
As you were asking a question, Commissioner Baloyi, I was in my mind. I was thinking of a report of the Inspector General of Intelligence on allegations against, where he mentioned allegations on individuals, but it was out in the public domain. But in the meantime, you were asking, so I missed the question.
My question is, and it's on the back of what you've just said. You've said now, these questions, in fact, you've said two things. You've said you yourself never received this report, this audit report. That's one thing you say. And then you say these questions from the journalist were in the public domain. So I'm seeking to clarify, therefore, that when you've been engaging with the chair, with Commissioner Khumalo, with Ms. Hassim, and you say it was in the public domain, you mean the questions were in the public domain. Is that what you meant?
Yes, Chair. And the other concern that I'm just having on this document, I wanted to see whether is it a forwarded message also to me, or where does it come from? Because it's just a clean page but you don't see that it come from a particular.
Do this, General. Pull out that page, and then go to page 232. But remember to put it back once you've answered the question.
Go to page?
Pull out that audit report recommendations page.
Yeah, to page.
And then go to page 232 in the same file. That's where your WhatsApps are.
So, General, if you go to page 232, and this would have assisted you, I was trying to assist you earlier when I said, let me add something here. If you look at those messages, go to page 232. Okay? You'll see that there's a string of messages that are sent to you. The first is the query by the journalist, and that's in chat number 4. The second is in chat number 5, and this, which we dealt with, I took you to this, from Major General Pokani. She says, "Good morning, General, Lieutenant Generals." So she is only addressing herself now to the senior management, right, within the service. And she says, "Kindly find the above media query received. I will engage the relevant division," etc. And then over the page we went, and she says, she forwards then the message, her response to Mr. Matefo. If you see that, number 1. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, you're following the thread that I'm taking you to, because it's a set of messages that Major General Pokane forwarded to you, including this one, which her response to the journalist. She says it's an internal matter and we reserve our comments. And then finally an attachment, and that's in number 2, chat number 2, if on page 233, if you have a look at it. Right?
Yes.
Now, because that is hard to read, the attachment needs to be, it's an attachment, as you know, to a chat. And so what you're looking at, the big page, is that image. Okay, so this was forwarded by General Pokane. And she's sending it to the senior management, general and lieutenant generals, because she obviously wants you to be put in a position to understand where these questions are coming from.
Are we able to see to who of the senior management was this sent to?
We don't know. All we know is that she sent it to Good Morning General and Lieutenant Generals. So I suppose all of the Lieutenant Generals would have received it, and the General.
Well, I'm not sure to say all the Lieutenant Generals, because all the Lieutenant Generals, even the one in the provinces, are Lieutenant Generals. So I'm just saying...
Oh, I'm sure it was at head office that this was being dealt with.
But General Sibiya, we know it was sent to you. So
From
let's
Pokane.
not worry about 20 other generals. From this, we can tell that it's been sent to you. So you are one of the generals, however many. Maybe there were 5, maybe there were 10, maybe there were 15. The point is, you were one of the recipients. And that's how it finds its way into these chats that we are looking at. So let's not go to the northwest. Let's stick to where we are.
I wanted to check where you say good morning, Lieutenant General, so and Lieutenant Generals, whether my name is there.
General
Well,
Sibiya, just looking at these chats, we can see that it reached you because you sent it to Captain Ngozi.
Yeah.
You wouldn't send it to Captain Ngozi if you didn't have it. Sergeant Ngozi, sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah. Because the only way you can send it to Sergeant Ngozi is if you have it. If you don't have it, you can't send it to him.
No, it's why I'm asking, it could have also been forwarded to me, not necessarily coming from Ms. Pokane, General Pokane. It could have been also sent to me, but nevertheless, I take the point. Commissioners, I can respond to the next question or your question.
What I'm putting to you is that sorry. What I'm putting to you is that Major General Pokane sent you the attachment. And it seems she probably sent it to all of the senior management. So why do you say it was in the public domain? This didn't come from the journalist to you.
I don't know. I don't know whether I received it from a journalist or from Major Pokane, but I will accept that I received it from Pokane. If I received it maybe from General Pokane, and obviously having received an inquiry from the public, I mean from an inquiry from the journalist, and maybe I shared it with Nkosi. To me, I never intended it to go there for him to disseminate. But if he did share it, I will also accept that one.
Okay, I think we've already covered the ground of you sharing, you knew that he would communicate with Mr. Matlala. And the worrying thing, which is where I wanted to go to with this, is that you are sending a document that is about the cancellation of a contract with a service provider to Sergeant Nkosi, knowing it will get to that service provider. So it's not just any member of the public that's receiving it, it's the person who is affected by that internal SAPS document. And that's the concern. Do you see that?
I do.
I'm going to move off this to, well, not entirely off it, because what happens next is you'll see that, let's get the right page, it's file 9, I'm afraid.
I don't know if you are still going to touch on this, and if you are, please stop me, Ms. Hassim. General, to my mind, the timing of this is quite important because the contract was cancelled in June of 2025. May of 2025. I'm thinking of the award. The award was in June of the previous year. So the cancellation was in May 2025. And these chats are in March of 2025. So in a situation where you see the probability of these documents, these chats, these communications reaching Mr. Matlala through Sergeant Nkosi, you were basically sharing, and I suggest this to you, you were basically sharing with Sergeant Nkosi to alert Mr. Matlala as to what was happening. And what was happening with hindsight now eventually resulted in the cancellation of the contract. So you are upfront alerting Mr. Matlala through Sergeant Nkosi. You are basically saying, hey, be aware, there's trouble brewing. That is what I'm suggesting to you.
I'm just trying to read what is contained in the page 300.
The audit report suggests that there were irregularities in the award of the contract.
Yes.
So naturally, that can quite easily lead to the cancellation of the contract. In fact, that audit report says in so many words that there should be a termination. So I'm suggesting to you that you were indirectly alerting Mr. Matlala through Sergeant Nkosi that, look, there's trouble brewing here.
In my case, Chair, I was not indirectly informing Mr. Matlala, I was sharing with Nkosi. That is what I can say.
I will leave it at that because you've already accepted when I engaged you earlier that to your knowledge there was the probability that through Sergeant Nkosi these communications would end up reaching Mr. Matlala. I will leave it at that.
General, can you go to file 9, page 1040, please?
File 9, page
1040. Actually, it starts at 1039. Can we start there? It's at the bottom of 1039 is where it starts. It's chat number 5. Now, this is the conversation between Sergeant Nkosi and General Shibiri. What happens here is Sergeant Nkosi forwards the same set of messages we've already read that came from General Pukani, okay? The set of four messages, including the attachment of the last page of the audit report. I just want to make sure you see that.
That General Shibiri sent to Nkosi?
That, no, that Sergeant Nkosi sent to General Shibiri.
Okay.
Okay, so he now forwards what you sent him. He sends it to General Shibiri, okay? And then you'll see at chat number 4 on page 1040. General Shibiri says, good morning when he sees this. Good morning, is too bad.
Chat number?
4.
Yes.
Is too bad. Now, I accept that this is a conversation between Sergeant Nkosi and General Shibiri, but it is a theme that seems to be emerging here of the communications between you, the three players that are present as at 14 September 2024. General Shibiri, yourself, and Sergeant Nkosi, and of course, Mr. Matlala in the midst of all of it. So I'm pointing out to you that here's another pattern here of communication that is now involving General Shibiri. And General Shibiri's response to this is that it's too bad. What knowledge do you have of General Shibiri's involvement with Mr. Matlala and his interest in this contract?
I don't know if General Shibiri's got any interest in Mr. Matlala's contract, but I do know that they know each other. Yes. But in terms of the pattern of the three of us, myself, Mr. General Shibiri, and Nkosi, I'm not so sure whether in that what was found in Nkosi's phone only included me, Shibiri, and Nkosi, and no one else. Because now a picture has been painted here of only the three conspirators, 3 people only, whereas Nkosi had many others.
Accept this. On matters relating to Mr. Matlala, the pattern that emerges from the WhatsApps is of the 3 of you. There may very well be discussions with other generals on many other things, but on matters relating to Mr. Matlala, that's what the pattern shows. Just so that you limit it to that and we don't talk about every general at SAPS.
I don't know if the commissioner has the benefit of the communication of Mr. Nkosi's phone and any other general.
Yes, we do.
In relation to the same matter?
Well, we have everything from Sergeant Nkosi's phone. So we do have sight into his conversations with other people, including other lieutenant generals.
That's fine. Let me leave it there.
You see, you send this message to Sergeant Nkosi, and you know that, let me just put it this way, that he will probably send it to Mr. Matlala, or he may send it to Mr. Matlala. You haven't said why you sent it to Sergeant Nkosi. You say you just sent it to him. But there must be a reason why you sent it. There's an interest in that contract.
I did respond that is because I saw something about someone that we all know.
Okay, and then the same sharing of information involves General Shibiri, and he says it's too bad. Now, one would think, I want to know if you would agree with me, that if you are a senior member of the police service and you see an audit report that raises very serious concerns, well, let me start. Do you agree that the audit report raises very serious concerns regarding Mr. Matlala's contract?
I do.
And if those, well, the recommendations should be acted on? Upon?
Yes.
But what General Shibiri says here is it's too bad, suggesting that he has sympathy for Mr. Matlala rather than maybe actually outrage that Mr. Matlala would have conducted himself in a manner that brought him within the purview of the audit in the way it did.
I'm trying to understand your question in terms of the outrage.
Well, what I'm saying is General Shibiri says it's too bad.
Yes.
Which sounds like he is
Sympathetic.
towards Mr. Matlala's plight,
Yes.
rather than concerned for the SAPS
Yes.
and the consequences of an irregular, all of the irregularity, right, that the audit report showed. That would be a problem, right?
Yes, but when a person says that's too bad, sometimes you empathize with a person, sometimes you sympathize with a person, sometimes it will be, it's too bad that it had to happen, but if it must happen, let it happen. So this is how we responded. I mean, we don't all have a channeled way of responding or same mindset that says, and this is, under this situation, this is how you must or you will react.
So you're saying that it's possible actually what General Shibiri meant here was just that this is a bad outcome?
So this is too bad. It's unfortunate.